A new Florida bill would eliminate the Democratic Party. A lawyer argues that the fetus of a jailed pregnant Florida woman is being illegally detained. A Florida man was arrested after dumping 1,700 pounds of mattresses on the street. And delivery services in Florida are looking into the food being dropped off at an eagle's nest. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News. They are all from the state of Florida. That's right, because on Fridays on Weird AF News, we only do weird news from Florida. We call it Florida Fridays if you're just joining us for the first time. All the degenerate news from our favorite state, Florida, from the week. Let's go. A new bill in Florida would eliminate the Democratic Party. Oh, and any other party that is against concealed carrying guns by children and alligators as well, I imagine. How 1930s European of you, Florida. I mean, eliminating the Democratic Party. Okay, I think that's against the First Amendment. I think, not sure. But way to take fascism to a new level, Florida. It says here the Florida Democratic Party would not exist if a new Senate bill is passed and signed into law. We have a Republican senator named Blaze Ingolia who has filed SB 1248, which would be called the Ultimate Cancel Act. The Ultimate Cancel Act. Now, while the Ultimate Cancel Act does not mention the Democratic Party's name specifically, it would direct the Florida Division of Elections to, quote, immediately cancel the filings of a political party to include its registration and approved status as a political party if the party's platform has previously advocated for or been in support of slavery or involuntary servitude. Huh? Turns out Southern Democrats advocated for slavery during the Civil War. So this is their way of going around that, saying, if at one time in history you supported slavery, we want to remove your party from the forum. It says here, under the bill, registered Democrats would be automatically re-registered as having, quote, no party affiliation whatsoever. The Democratic Party officers could reorganize, but only under a substantially different name. Here's a quote from this senator that proposed this. For years now, leftist activists have been trying to cancel people and cancel companies for things they have said or done in the past. This includes the removal of statues and memorials and the renaming of some buildings. Using this standard, it would be hypocritical not to cancel the Democratic Party itself for the same dang reason. We have an alternative quote from a Democratic state rep named Carlos Guillermo Smith, who said, quote, Republicans in Florida are so drunk. You could have stopped the quote there. Yeah, they are so drunk. Now, he says they are so drunk with power that they are expanding their censorship agenda to even include abolishing the Democratic Party of Florida. If Floridians are not alarmed by what is coming out of Republican leadership in Tallahassee, then they are not paying enough attention. Well, it seems like the people in Florida have bigger problems than this. Did you hear about that guy in Florida that once threatened the entire state with an army of turtles? Yeah, these things happen in Florida, too. A lawyer argues that a fetus of a jailed pregnant Florida woman is being illegally detained. A lawyer's attempt to have his pregnant client released from prison ahead of trial is arguing that her fetus has been subject to unlawful and illegal detention. This could have profound consequences for the rights of women in Florida, a state where they really give a damn about your child when it's inside your belly. And then when it's out, good luck. Now, we got these public schools. You might survive, but good luck with that. Now, this attorney is William Norris. He filed a petition for a writ of habeas corpus on behalf of the unborn child of Florida woman Natalia Harrell. Now, the filing argues that the fetus is, quote, a person under the Florida Constitution and the United States Constitution and therefore has the right to due process. I've never read the Florida Constitution nor the United States Constitution. Does it mention fetus anywhere in that document? I'm not familiar, but maybe it does. I doubt it. Let's keep reading, keep learning. Here's a quote from the lawyer. This unborn child has not been charged with a criminal offense by respondents or the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office. This child should not be in a detention center. It did nothing wrong. They further allege that the jail has failed to provide the Florida woman with adequate prenatal nutrition or medical care, saying that she's not been treated by a gynecologist since October. Well, that's unacceptable. Clearly, this mother needs immediate medical care for this situation. And I do believe in general, in jail, you do receive some form of medical care. So that's not okay. Now, let's keep reading. Find out what she's done. It says the Florida woman, 24 years old, was pregnant when she was arrested on the 26th of July. She's charged with the death of Gladys Yvette Borcella during an argument in an Uber on July 23rd. All right, so she's in there for murder, basically. Okay, probably should keep her in there for murder. During an argument, if you murder anybody, you're probably a threat to society. So leading up to your trial, I'd be more comfortable as a citizen of the state of Florida if you were kept in there until the trial, pregnant or not. That's just me. It doesn't say who she murdered, but this person could have been the driver. I cover a lot of stories of people just murdering people in Florida for no particular reason. This sounds like it might be the case. But again, she hasn't been to trial. I'm only going by what I'm reading in the article here. Let's not make any assumptions. Either way, she's on trial for the connection with a murder. Now, the state of Florida has urged the court to dismiss the petition and disputed the allegation that she has not received adequate medical care as well. As the lawyer has said again and again, this unborn child is a person. The person has constitutional rights. One of them is the right not to be deprived of liberty without due process of law. Again, I don't even know how you put a fetus through the due process of law. Can a fetus appear in court? Technically the fetus can appear in court. Can't swear on the Bible because it can't really use its hands right now, I don't think. I guess you could press the Bible up to the belly and then wait for the fetus to knock 3 times. Look, I'm open to putting the fetus through a due process. Just explain to me how that would work, a lawyer. I would love to know. All right, we now have a quote from what seems like a very reasonable law professor named Mary. Mary says it's very difficult to see how the court could grant a writ in Harold's case without establishing some kind of generalizable rule of fetal personhood. Yeah, it all comes down to we can't agree at what stage a fetus is a person. So unless you establish that, this law professor doesn't see how you can move forward in granting this. Here's a quote from the lawyer. It has the potential to establish that abortion is always illegal and potentially to expose women to punishment or make it a violation of the Florida Constitution to perform an abortion. It would mean that you can't also imprison people who are pregnant no matter what the crime. And that's a very alarming statement. And I think that really boils it down to the main concern here is if you approve this, then you can't imprison a pregnant person no matter what they have done. And that's crazy. And for the safety of the citizens, you can't allow that. Maybe you disagree. This is a nightmare issue, as anything surrounding abortion seems to be in this country. You want to call the show? 646-450-2012. Tell me what you think, my friend. Yay! A Florida man was arrested after dumping 1,700 pounds of mattresses onto the street. Seems like a lot of work. For what? A 40-year-old Florida man was arrested Wednesday after leaving over 30 mattresses and box springs on a street. 30 mattresses and box springs, I guess, is the equivalent of 1,700 pounds of mattresses, which is in the title of the story. It's funny that they would put, this guy dumped 1,700 pounds of mattresses. You mean 30? Yeah, 30. This is like the ultimate clickbait title. Just make the number bigger somehow by using the weight. Anyways, we have Florida man Michael Herrera, age 40, of Stock Island. He's been charged with illegal dumping. The Monroe County Solid Waste Management informed the sheriff's office that bedding weighing more than 1,700 pounds was dumped at Front Street and 4th Avenue. Detectives learned that all of these mattresses came from a hotel in the area, Key West Hotel. A manager there stated that Herrera was hired to replace the beds at the hotel. Okay. So instead of properly disposing of the beds, he just left them on the side of the street. It's cheaper that way. I'm sure you have to pay a dumping fee when you're dumping 1,700 pounds of anything. So this guy was like, just trying to cut costs here. He admitted that he dumped the mattresses on Monday in the hopes that local residents would take them. And then who's going to take a mattress dumped on a Florida street and bring it into your home. Are you okay? Like, who in their right mind would do that? Maybe Floridians would do that. I don't know. I don't recommend it. I don't even recommend getting a mattress off Craigslist that's free. Yeah, you don't just pick them off the sidewalk. Bed bugs are a thing. And in Florida, who knows what else you're going to drag into your place. Probably like a disease and a meth habit is within that mattress. You sleep on the mattress, you become a crackhead after a while. All right, so the Floridaman says he left him there in the hopes that residents would take him. Very, very generous of the Floridaman to offer the community free bed bugs like that. He claimed that he was going to return the following day to remove whatever was left. However, they were all there, and he never returned. The mattresses were left on the street, unfortunately. We have a quote from the local sheriff, Rick Ramsey. Sounds like a badass. Rick Ramsey, like the ruler, Ramsey. Oh, that was Ramses, I think, the Egyptian ruler. I was close. You're getting a host with a public education here, guys. I'm doing the best I can. Anyways, badass Sheriff Rick Ramsey doesn't tolerate unlawful disposal of bedding on his streets. He says, I believe better, cleaner, safer streets means better, cleaner, safer neighborhoods. And arresting those who trash our neighborhoods is a top priority for me. You go, Rick Ramsey. You arrest those people trashing your neighborhoods. No illegal dumping on Sheriff Rick Ramsey's watch. Sheriff Rick Ramsey wants you to know you can't discard bedding illegally in my town. I'm talking mattresses. I'm talking box springs. If I see some futons on the sidewalk, you're going into the clink, baby. Don't get me started about those air mattresses. Oh, no, none of that. Yay! You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Some eagles in Florida receive a delivery from DoorDash, and the authorities are looking into it. Food deliveries to the American bald eagles, which nest along Bayshore Road in North Fort Myers, Florida, have prompted an investigation by DoorDash, which is a food delivery company. Now, apparently this eagle's nest has been the focus of attention due to its decade-long online presence. So I guess there are a lot of video of these eagles over the years. Now, normally they're showing successful breeding activities by these eagles, which are named Harriet and M15. I don't know why you have one of the eagles named Harriet and one M15. Why don't you give M15 a real name as well? I'm going to guess that's the male eagle. You have Harriet and then you have M15. What about Marty? That's a good name for an eagle. Harriet and Marty. That seems appropriate to me. So there was some drama over Harriet's disappearance on February 2nd. With her missing, some eagle watchers started suggesting that the delivery of food might be a help to M15, the male eagle that was left, who also doesn't have a name. How about you help him with a name, too? Anyways, the male eagle was left to raise the eaglets, which are named E21 and E22. How about they get names as well? These eaglets. I mean, fetuses in Florida have full names, social security numbers, and apparently they have all the rights that other people have. Why can't these eaglets have a name, at least? E21 and E22. It's just very shameful. It says here, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service have issued statements that unauthorized human meddling in the birds' lives is against state and federal law, as well as being a threat to the health and the well-being of these eagles. Yeah, I mean, you can't have French fries delivered to eagles. Are people aware of that? They don't eat French fries. I don't know what they're having delivered there. Oh, perhaps the eaglets E21 and E22 like falafel. No, I don't think so, man. These eagles are pretty popular. More than 190 million people have watched the nesting drama online at Southwest Florida Eagle Cam. Ooh, you can watch the Eagle Cam. The site actually has multiple cameras aimed at the nest. There's a chat room so people can have conversations about the nest activities. And now they're all talking about these deliveries from DoorDash, apparently. Officials from the site have confronted delivery drivers, specifically DoorDash, attempting to drop off food. I mean, and as a DoorDash delivery person, how do you drop off food to an eagle nest? I mean, wouldn't you be like, contact your I don't know, your manager or someone be like, hey, they're telling me to deliver it to these eagles, but I don't think this is appropriate. By the way, I don't think eagles tip either. They definitely don't eat burritos because there's burritos left over from the previous delivery person. Now we have a quote from Virginia, who's the co-founder of the Southwest Florida Eagle Cam. Okay, so she helped set up these eagle cameras. She knows what eagles eat. She knows that this is against the law. It's against Federal Wildlife Agency protocol. Eagles are endangered from my understanding as well, so you got to be careful what you feed them and how you interact with them. Less human interaction, the better, in my opinion. Virginia spoke to the media. She was frustrated over what she's been experiencing. Here's a quote from her. There's still a core group of people out there that think they are doing the best and the right things, even though it's against federal law. And it's hurting the eagles in the long run. They're starting to come out at night and they hide behind trees when no one can see them. This is probably the first time that I'm talking about it publicly because it's very frustrating that they continue to do so, to make deliveries and do everything that they can, This seems terrible. And the eagles don't want to be seen on camera, if we're being honest. It's very challenging. Man, they're very protected habitat here. Now, apparently they have photos and video of DoorDash delivery people. One in particular, a delivery person was stopped short of delivering food at the base of the nesting tree, which is apparently fenced off, and it's on private property. The posting indicated the person had made previous deliveries of fish to the site. Okay, people are sending fish. An official from DoorDash, responding to a request for comment about the activity, said the company is definitely looking into this. Illegal feeding is just one aspect of the unfolding turmoil at the site of this nest since Harriet has vanished. Poor Harriet. I wonder why she left. It might have been from all the activity from these food delivery people. Now, an update on the eaglets. They are just about 75 days shy of being able to make it on their own, according to Virginia. She says, they do stay in the nest area to learn to hunt from their parents and, practice flying with their other siblings. It's all a process. And, we are in that time frame where they are old enough to, survive solo. So we're just counting down those weeks until we can maybe see them fledge and fly. And we like that. And, of course, they're never going to learn how to hunt if you're just dropping off soup to the base of the nest, man. If you're just dropping off fried shrimp, they're never going to learn to hunt, man. And by the way, they don't eat fried shrimp, FYI. And I don't know who thought it was a good idea to bring boba to the nest. Eagles don't drink boba, bro. They don't. Yay! Happy Friday, my friends, and thank you, those of you who sent me Florida stories for this particular episode. I think it was a doozy. I don't know what doozy means, but people seem to use it in a positive light. I want to think this episode was in a positive light, despite having Florida all over it. We got to have hope, guys. And when you listen to Florida Fridays, it should give you some hope. Well, at least it makes you satisfied that you don't live in Florida. That's nice. That's a nice feeling that you get. Hope you're having a nice weekend, or you had one, or you're about to have one. I want to give thanks because I like to give thanks and praise in the outro of these episodes. First of all, we have Lori Geiger. Lori Geiger. It could be Lori Geiger. She gave me 5 stars on an Amazon review, which is very helpful because that's where people like to write very nasty things. They try to hurt my feelings on Amazon. I don't know why they do that. I don't know what they have against me. I'm just a guy in a closet trying to make you smile once in a while. Lori wrote, "Great way to end the day. I am actually bummed out on weekends, and I eagerly await Monday for my daily fix. Check it out. It's worth your time, man." That's right. It's worth your time, man. And good luck with your life, man. Thank you, Lori, for taking the time to write a nice 5-star review because it offsets the terrible ones that I get. And it shows that you wanted to, put some effort into helping me out here. Just one guy in a closet recording a podcast, trying to make people's worlds brighter. Thank you, Lori. I also have a coffee. A coffee was bought me. Did I say that properly? My English isn't the best. A coffee was purchased for me off my website, weirdafnews.com, a place where you can go if you would like to support the show. There's various ways you can do that. One of which is you can click on the banner that says, "Buy me a coffee." You can buy Jonesy a coffee, or 10 coffees if you feel like it. Misty D. Jones bought me a coffee. Misty D. Jones, no relation to me, I don't believe. Misty wrote me a nice little message, too. You can write me a message when you buy me a coffee. She wrote, "Here's one on me, Jonesy. Thanks for the laughs." Very short and sweet. A lot of love there. I can feel the love, Misty. Thank you so much for buying me a coffee, and I'm glad you laughed a bit. I'm trying to make you laugh, but I'm also trying to educate people here. So that's what's going on. So thank you, Misty Jones, for buying me the coffee. You guys can also join the Patreon on my website. Patreon is the way to support the show as well. And then you get additional Weird AF content, and you get to be sort of like a member of this little private club. There's a little over 100 people in the Patreon, all big fans of the show. They have conversations in there. And I'm going to be releasing an Ask Me Anything video by Monday. I'm going to record it over the weekend, and my patrons ask me questions, and I'm just going to answer them on video. And it's usually a funny video. And yeah, I mean, if you can handle me rambling on the podcast, it might be, I ramble even more on the video, so maybe that's not the best selling point here. But I usually go about 45 minutes to an hour answering all the questions, and I share personal stories of myself. Maybe you're sick of me, though. You don't need that. I mean, if you don't want personal Jonesy, you just want the news, then maybe that's not for you. But if you want to, ask a question and watch the video as well and get extra weird content from me that I put in there. Some of it I create myself. There's bonus episodes in there that go back, many months. There's about 20-something episodes that are bonus episodes that you can dig into as well. There's a lot of content in there is the point. So you get something with your donation. So if you're into that, join the Patreon. You can do it at weirdafnews.com, or you can go to patreon.com/weirdafnews, or you can download the Patreon app on your smartphone and just do a search for Weird AF News on there. Okay, if you want to reach out to me, my email, funnyjones@gmail.com, or you can slide into my DMs on Instagram @funnyjones as well. I love to hear from listeners. I hope to hear from you as well. And above and beyond that, I want to thank you for spending some time with me. I appreciate your loyal listenership and your support. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do so. I love you. Have a great weekend.
This here is the angry Florida man here, and I'm running for state representative of the central Florida area of Pinellas Park. And I would like to let you and everyone and your friends know that if you're gonna be a celebrity on cops, be sure to get an endorsement. Don't take your shirt and your shoes off and throw them in the woods and attack your grandfather like that. Don't do that. Get an endorsement. Say, this shoe beating is brought to you by Adidas or New Balance. Who knows, man? Just let them know. Let them show. And as your young Republican, I'm not a Republican, but hey, man, vote for me. Well, all right. Mr. Jeffrey Reitz going for 295 trips to Disney World. Oh, my friend, you couldn't do 5 more before you told everyone how great you were? I mean, that'd make it 3,000, but Mr. Jonesy told you that you ain't that special because... You know why he said that? Because, damn, brother, that's a silly-ass mission to go on. You know what I'm saying? You have Vice passes, P passes, food passes. You know, by the way, the food in Disney World sucks. I got to tell you that right now. I go on vacation as an older man, and I want to go to Disney World. I want to get myself something nice and delicious and then nutritious. I don't even care if it's nutritious to the most part. But, damn, man, all it is just french fries and chicken tenders and churros, man. A churro is a really good way to say, hey, I had a terrible day and I want to slap myself in the face with some brown sugar and cinnamon. But hey, that's how it is. Now I've been turning them up, but I've been turning them out, and I've been putting them into the podcast machine. By the way, Jonesy, if you cannot tell, the angry Florida man has been tempering his attitude with some 8.6% IPAs. Ooh, they taste swell. Anyway, Jonesy, like who's this cat there? Jeffrey Reitz? I got notes, Jeffrey. I called you Jeffrey. His name's Jeffrey. Your name's Jonesy. Jonesy, I got notes for this Jeffrey Reitz, and it ain't good, man. They ain't good, because you know he's a poser. If he was at a skateboard park, man, I don't know, man. He'd probably be all right. You know. Escape the wall of doom, man, right? As you know, Jonesy, I tend to drive a truck. You know, I drive a truck and I deliver the bread to the people that like to eat bread. Sometimes people eat bread with butter, and I'm like, hey man, I can't believe it's not butter. It tastes a little better, you know what I'm saying? You just spread it on, you know, maybe you toast it. I mean, do you toast bread, Jonesy? Do you? Wait, no, we ain't talking in person, so why would I ask, you know? But nevertheless, man, I ain't as angry as I used to be. I've been realizing I do some tantric yoga. I don't really know what that means, but sometimes when I'm asleep and I fall asleep in the park and people are like, "Hey, you tantric bastard, get out of here, man! This ain't a place to sleep." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm hunting iguana. Yeah, Jonesy, as a member of the new line online roller skating hold on, man, Jonesy. As a member of the online skating community, all right, man. As a kid that would wear rollerblades and not have a hockey stick, he'd just wear a cane. I just wanted to say that most of the stuff I've been saying today, it don't make much sense. All right, I like to make sense. Sometimes, remember when you used to be able to roll coins and you write your social security number on the side of and you turn them in, and then everybody give you 50 cents for 50 pennies. Why don't they do that anymore, Jonesy? You bring your pennies to Penny Park, and they just hit them with you. They throw them back at you, man. Jonesy, bring a slingshot and shoot them pennies at the kids from Penny Park. Hey, you know what, Jonesy? All out war on Penny Park, man. That's how it is. Pinellas Park, you have been warned. Yeah, Jonesy, as a member of the new line online roller skating hold on, man, Jonesy. As a member of the online skating community, all right, man. As a kid that would wear rollerblades and not have a hockey stick, he'd just wear a cane. I just wanted to say that most of the stuff I've been saying today, it don't make much sense. All right, I like to make sense. Sometimes, remember when you used to be able to roll coins and you write your social security number on the side of and you turn them in, and then everybody give you 50 cents for 50 pennies. Why don't they do that anymore, Jonesy? You bring your pennies to Penny Park, and they just hit them with you. They throw them back at you, man. Jonesy, bring a slingshot and shoot them pennies at the kids from Penny Park. Hey, you know what, Jonesy? All out war on Penny Park, man. That's how it is. Pinellas Park, you have been warned.